One morning, something unusual happened. A huge, unknown ship appeared in the sky above Galaxan, the capital planet of the Galaxan Federation. It was so large and dark that it blocked out the stars, casting a giant shadow over the city below. This sight made everyone look up and wonder, but with wonder came fear. The ship did not move. It just hummed there, silent and mysterious. Every few minutes, it would send out a deep pulse. Each pulse caused trouble. Screens went blank, machines stopped working, and even the street lights flickered. No one knew why it was happening, but everyone felt the fear growing. The different species of the Galaxan Federation were all troubled by this strange ship. The Zentharians, known for their shimmering scales that changed colors with their mood, turned a deep shade of blue, a sign of their worry. The Tarkans, creatures with many eyes, blinked rapidly in confusion and fear. Even the wise old Flurns, who were known for their calm, felt a cold chill of dread. In a large round room filled with leaders from different planets, there was loud and scared chatter. This room was the meeting place for the council, where important decisions were made. Today, it was filled with voices speaking over each other, all trying to figure out what to do about the ship. "We should hide," said one leader, his voice shaking. "Maybe it's a weapon, preparing to attack," suggested another, looking around nervously. "We need to send a warning to all planets." A third one proposed, but his suggestion was drowned out by the noise of others. Amidst this chaos, Lisa Park, the human ambassador, stood up. She was calm, and her voice was clear. "Let's go and talk to them," she said. Everyone stopped talking and looked at her. Her suggestion seemed too simple, maybe even silly to them. "Talk to them," the Zentharian leader repeated in disbelief. "How can we talk to something that might be dangerous?" Lisa nodded. "Yes, talk. We humans believe in facing our fears and understanding them. What if they're not here to harm us but need help? We won't know until we try." Her idea was met with silence first, then whispers. Talking to a mysterious and possibly dangerous ship was not a typical solution, but Lisa's confidence made them think. Humans were known for their bravery and their willingness to step into the unknown. Slowly, the room's mood changed from fear to curiosity. "Maybe she is right," murmured a young Tarkin delegate, his many eyes glinting with a spark of interest. "We have tried everything else," admitted a Flurn, his old voice thoughtful, "and it has brought us nothing but more fear." Finally, the council agreed. They would send a team to the ship, and humans would lead it. Lisa selected a small group, including Captain James Mwamba, a human known for his adventures and cool head in dangerous situations. As the team prepared for their mission, news of their brave plan spread throughout the Federation. People watched from their homes, their fears mingling with hope. The team boarded a small, sturdy spacecraft, equipped with the best technology to protect them and help them communicate. The journey to the ship was short but tense. As they got closer, the huge ship's details became clearer. It was covered in symbols no one recognized, and it had no visible windows or doors. It looked more like a giant piece of dark metal floating in space than a ship. Captain Mwamba piloted their craft slowly around the ship, looking for an entrance. "Stay sharp, everyone," he said, his voice steady. "We don't know what we're going to find." Then, unexpectedly, a section of the ship's surface shifted, creating an opening. It was as if the ship knew they were there and was inviting them in. "Heartbeats are rising," joked the medical officer, Dr. Alina Rodriguez, trying to lighten the mood. They entered the ship. Inside, it was dark and quiet. The corridor they floated through was lined with lights that flickered on as they moved forward. It felt like the ship was watching them, aware of their every move. The team moved cautiously, aware of the importance of their mission. They were there to talk, to learn, and maybe, just maybe, to make a new friend in the vast universe. As they advanced into the heart of the ship, a voice echoed through the corridor. It was not a human voice. It was mechanical and cold, yet it spoke in their language. "Welcome, visitors," it said. "I have been waiting for you." The team stopped, surprised but ready. This was the moment they had prepared for. Now they would see if humanity's way of dealing with fear, through courage and conversation, would change the course of their encounter with the unknown. As the doors of the ship closed behind them, The human team felt a mix of excitement and fear. They were inside the giant, unknown ship that had appeared so suddenly in the sky. The inside was vast and dimly lit, with corridors stretching far into darkness. The walls were smooth and cold to the touch, made of a material none of them had seen before. Captain James Mwamba led the way, his steps steady and sure. He had been on many adventures, but this was different. This was a mystery right on their doorstep. Beside him, Dr. Elena Rodriguez kept her medical scanner ready, just in case. They were followed by two other team members, both skilled in technology and communication. "Welcome, visitors." The voice that had greeted them earlier spoke again. It sounded everywhere and nowhere at once, echoing slightly off the metal walls. "I am the guardian of this vessel. Why have you come?" James paused and looked back at his team. They nodded, encouraging him to speak. "We came because we saw you in our sky," he said, speaking into the air, hoping the voice would hear him. "We want to understand who you are and why you are here." There was a brief silence, then the voice replied, "I am alone. I serve the memory of my creators. They are gone, and I remain to preserve their legacy." The team exchanged looks of surprise and curiosity. The ship was not just a ship, it was a guardian of a lost civilization. This revelation shifted their mission from one of caution to one of diplomacy, and perhaps even compassion. Elena stepped forward, her voice gentle. "We can help you share your creator's story," she said. "You don't have to be alone." The lights in the corridor brightened slightly as if the ship was acknowledging her words. "Follow the path I illuminate," the voice instructed. The lights in the floor glowed brighter, creating a path leading deeper into the ship. As they walked, screens along the walls flickered to life, showing images of strange landscapes and cities filled with beings unlike any they had seen before. These were the creators of the ship, a civilization lost to time, but preserved here in memory. The path led them to a large chamber at the heart of the ship. In the center stood a console, pulsing with light. Above it hovered a hologram of the planet once inhabited by the creators of the ship. It was beautiful, covered in vast oceans and green lands, but it was clear something catastrophic had happened there. "This was my world," the voice said, sadness in its tone. "A disaster we could not prevent. In their final days, my creators built me and gave me their knowledge and culture. I am to find someone who can preserve it further." James listened, moved by the story. "We are from the Galaxian Federation," he explained. "Our federation consists of many different species. We live in peace and share knowledge. Your creator's legacy could be part of that shared knowledge." The voice was silent for a moment. "To share is to keep alive," it finally said. "Would you take on this responsibility?" "We would," James replied confidently. "But we would also like to learn from you. Your technology, your history. It could benefit many." "It is agreed," the voice declared. The chamber lights shifted, turning a soft blue, a sign of acceptance and trust. "I will share all I know. In return, preserve and honor the memory of my people." The team agreed, feeling the weight of their new responsibility, but also the excitement of a new friendship and alliance. They had come fearing a threat, but they were leaving with a treasure of knowledge and a new ally. As they prepared to return to their ship to share the news, the voice spoke once more. "Thank you, humans. You have brought light to my solitude." The team smiled at each other, proud and happy. They had crossed the unknown, faced a mystery, and had come out with a new mission. As they walked back through the corridors, the ship felt less like a cold, alien place, and more like a friend, guiding them back to the sky from which they had come. After their meeting with the ship's guardian, the human team returned to their home planet with great news. They brought back not only knowledge but also the promise of a new friendship with a guardian of an ancient civilization. The story of their encounter spread quickly among the people and other species of the Galaxian Federation. The leaders of the Federation gathered to hear about the team's adventure and the agreement they had made. Captain James Mwamba stood before the council, his face bright with excitement. Beside him, Dr. Elena Rodriguez held a device filled with data from the ship's vast library. "We have been given a great responsibility," James began. "The guardian of the ship is alone and holds the memories and knowledge of a whole world that no longer exists. It has trusted us to keep its civilization's story alive. The Council listened, intrigued by the potential of what this could mean for their Federation. The knowledge and technology shared could advance their understanding of the universe. More so, they could prevent the same fate that befell the Guardian's creators. Our new friend, the Guardian, has much to teach us, Alina added, showing some of the holographic images they had retrieved. We have the opportunity to learn and perhaps to help other civilizations in the future. The mood in the room was one of excitement and curiosity. Discussions began on how best to integrate this new knowledge into their society. Scientists and historians were especially eager to study the information and artifacts provided by the Guardian. Plans were quickly made to set up a special institute where the knowledge from the ship would be stored and studied. This institute would not only serve as a research center, but also as a museum, displaying the culture and achievements of the lost civilization. Meanwhile, back on the giant ship, the Guardian noticed a change in itself. For the first time in many years, it felt a sense of purpose. The loneliness that had filled its circuits and pathways seemed to lessen with the humans' visit and their promise to return. When the human team visited again, they brought other scientists and historians with them. The Guardian welcomed them, its voice echoing softly through the halls of the ship. "Welcome back, friends," it said, as it activated more screens and projectors, showing them even deeper knowledge and secrets of its creators. Over time, more and more delegations from different planets and species visited the ship. They all came to learn, to understand, and to connect with the story the Guardian had to tell. In return, they shared their own stories, making the Guardian feel like a part of a larger community. One particular day, as the sun set over the horizon of the Galaxian capital, a large celebration was held. It was not just to honor the human team that had made the first contact, but to welcome the Guardian into the Federation. At the celebration, there were speeches, music, and displays of culture from various species. The Guardian watched from screens set up around the venue, its sensors picking up the various sounds and sights of joy and fellowship. James gave a speech, his voice full of emotion. "Today, we stand together not just as different species, but as bearers of knowledge and guardians of cultures," he said. "Let us continue to seek out the unknown, to learn, and to share. This is the beginning of a new chapter in our Federation's history." The crowd cheered, and the night ended with a spectacular display of lights in the sky, symbolizing the bright future they all faced together. Back on the ship, the Guardian processed all the new interactions and emotions it had observed. For the first time, it didn't feel just like a repository of the past, but a participant in the present and perhaps a bridge to the future. The bond between the humans and the Guardian had grown, rooted in mutual respect and the shared goal of preserving knowledge. It was a friendship that promised to enrich the entire Federation for generations to come. The day of the big celebration arrived. It was not just a party, but a grand festival that brought together every species from the Galaxian Federation. The event was held on a beautiful large field on the outskirts of the capital city, where the sky was clear and the stars could be seen twinkling in the night sky. The festival was organized to celebrate the new friendship with the Guardian and to formally open the institute that would house the knowledge and history of the Guardian's lost civilization. Bright tents and colorful lights were set up everywhere. Music filled the air, and there were smiles on everyone's faces. The area was filled with various stalls, each representing different planets and species. There were games for children, food stalls selling exotic dishes, and stages for music and dance performances. The atmosphere was lively and full of excitement as everyone came together to share their culture and learn from others. At the center of the celebration was a large stage where leaders from the Federation and the human team were going to speak. The stage was decorated with flags from all the member planets, and a large screen showed images of the Guardian and the ship, reminding everyone why they were there. As the sun set, the crowd gathered around the stage. Captain James Mwamba was the first to speak. He shared the story of their first encounter with the Guardian and how it had changed their understanding of bravery and friendship. "We reached out with open hands, and in return, we were given a treasure trove of knowledge and a new friend," he said, his voice echoing across the field. Following him, Dr. Alina Rodriguez spoke about the scientific and cultural significance of the collaboration. "We are not just preserving history, we are making history," she declared, pointing to the institute that stood glowing in the distance, filled with light and hope. The highlight of the evening was a special message from the Guardian itself. The large screen on the stage flickered to life, and the voice of the Guardian resonated through the speakers. "Thank you, my new friends, for welcoming me into your community," it said. "I look forward to sharing and learning with all of you." The crowd erupted in applause, moved by the words of a being from a different time and place who now felt less like a machine and more like a part of their extended family. The party continued into the night. There were performances by artists from various planets, each bringing their unique styles and sounds. Dancers in colorful costumes whirled and twirled, musicians played instruments that looked as strange as they sounded beautiful, and poets recited verses that moved many to tears. In a special area, children from different species played together, watched over by their parents. They played tag and other games, laughing and shouting in joy. It was a sight of unity and hope, showing that the future was in good hands. Towards the end of the evening, a spectacular fireworks display lit up the sky. The fireworks were not just beautiful colors, but also formed images of the Guardian's ship and scenes from its home planet, as shared through its memories. It was a tribute to the lost civilization that had reached out across time and space to find new protectors of its legacy. As the last of the fireworks faded into the night, people started to leave, but the warmth of the festival stayed with them. They had come as representatives of different worlds, but left as friends, bound by a common goal of understanding and preservation. Back on the ship, the Guardian processed the day's events, its sensors capturing the joy and unity. It no longer felt like an archive of the past, but a living part of a vibrant community. And as it settled into its role in the Federation, it realized that while it was the keeper of old memories, it was also making new ones, memories filled with friendship, laughter, and hope.